Detective Comics. Another thrilling episode of The Batman in this issue. The Batman. The Batman Meets Dr. Death by Bob Kane. The Batman, eerie figure of the night, has become a legendary figure in the life of the teeming metropolis, righting wrongs and bringing justice where it has never been before. In the study of Dr. Carl Helfern, later to be more widely known as Dr. Death. Jabba, come here. Jabba, I have at last completed all my laboratory experiments. My death by pollen extract is definite. I am ready to exact my tribute from the wealthy of the world. They will either pay tribute to me or die. And yet one thing troubles me. This man they call the Batman. A crime such as ours is sure to attract his attention. He must be done away with. If I knew who he is, but no one does. I must trap him. Perhaps we can contact him through the personal notice column in the daily newspapers. Across the city, Bruce Wayne, in reality the Batman, reads the daily paper the next morning. What's this? Public notices. Batman, if you will go to General Post Office and ask for a letter addressed to John Jones, you will find a message of vital importance. Have you a letter addressed to John Jones? Bruce Wayne opens the letter. Batman, at 10 p.m. tonight at Suite B on the 14th floor of the Beverly Apartments, I will commit a murder, and I defy you without the aid of the police to stop me. Bruce returns home. He kneels before a small chest and takes out his bat-like mantle. Half an hour to change and half an hour to get to the penthouse. These glass pellets of choking gas might come in handy tonight, if this is what I think it is. Likewise, these suction gloves and knee pads, the penthouse will require a bit of climbing. In place of Bruce Wayne, the wealthy social figure, the Batman. The Batman glances at the dashboard clock. 8:30 exactly. I'm off. A few minutes before 9, a car slides to a stop near the designated building. Quite a climb to the penthouse. I think I'll want more privacy for my car. That vacant lot, for instance. The Batman parks his car in the vacant lot where some construction work has been going on. A weird figure races through the night. The Batman throws his lasso up to catch a jutting windowsill. I think my suction pads will come in handy here. He puts them on and starts up the side of the building. Now for the penthouse. Like a gigantic bat, he moves up the sheer face of the building. The Batman stands on top of the penthouse garden roof. For a quick getaway, the Batman has his rope handy. The Batman surveys his ground cautiously. Unseen by the Batman are the gunmen placed to trap him by Dr. Death. He bit for it. Shall I give it to him? No. The doctor said to kill him inside, so the police will find him in here. Wait, he's coming in. The lights blaze on, and the Batman is caught in a trap. Put him up, Batman. We've got you at last. But the gunmen reckon without the great speed and agility of the Batman. And the hired killers go down. Quick as a panther, the Batman is upon the gunman, lashing out with both fists. And who sent you, may I ask? We can't tell you. He'd kill us. Your choice, gentlemen. Tell me, or I'll kill you. Good evening, Batman. Dr. Death sends his greetings. Jabba fires. The Batman is hit. The wounded Batman ejects a glass pellet from his belt. The Batman holds his breath and slams the glass pellet on the floor in front of the giant Indian. I'm choking. The room becomes filled with a deadly gas. The wounded Batman leaps for the glass windows leading to the penthouse roof. God, he's jumped off. But what the gunmen of Dr. Death failed to see, the Batman swings onto a projecting cornice of the roof. The blood still seeping from his wound, he slips on his suction gloves and knee pads. The Batman in his car places a pad of cotton on his bared shoulder. This'll keep until I get to a phone booth. Dressed in civilian clothes once more, Bruce Wayne, The Batman enters a phone booth. Daily Globe, I want this inserted in your public notice column. I accept your challenge, Dr. Death. The Batman. I guess I better see the family doctor at once. His shoulder's beginning to ache. It's all right now, Bruce, but how did you shoot yourself when there are no powder marks on your flesh? I do funny things sometimes, Doc. I'll tell you all about it someday. Thanks for everything. The next morning, in Dr. Death's study. You fools! You bunglers! He walks into a trap and you let him go? If you miss the next time, follow me, Jabba. Here is a picture of John P. Van Smith. He refuses to pay tribute to me. He must die. I have immunized you with my serum from this pollen, which you will blow at your victim as he comes from his club tonight. Jabba goes on his errand of death. My would-be killer of last night. I think I'll follow him. As the unsuspecting victim steps from his club. His errand fulfilled, Jabba flees, but he has not reckoned upon the presence of Bruce Wayne, the Batman. Don't breathe, or you're dead. I haven't time for questions, but I have a hunch that if you had breathed in what that man blew, it would be curtains for you. I've got to trail him. Adieu. Prepare for a visit tonight, Dr. Death, from the Batman. That night, on the sidewalk behind Dr. Death's house. On his rope, the Batman climbs to the second story of the house. Only a few minutes more, Dr. Death. We have a score to even. A creak of a glass cutter, and the Batman enters. The Batman finds Dr. Death and his giant servant Jabba in the laboratory. It won't be long, Doctor. A snap of a lasso, and Jabba is jerked from the table. The Batman! Good evening, Doctor, but it won't be, after I'm through with you. You fool! Dr. Death presses a button and drops into a secret chute. Ha 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 ha! I can just make it before it closes. I hope. Into the unknown, after Dr. Death, plunges the Batman, who lands on a mat and sees Dr. Death disappearing down the hall. The Batman pursues Dr. Death relentlessly. Dr. Death returns to the laboratory in a last desperate attempt to elude the Batman. There is yet time. You are just too late, my foe. Watch the fiery death. The Batman seizes a fire extinguisher on the wall and flings it at Dr. Death, knocking the deadly tube to the floor, where it swiftly ignites into a blazing inferno. Ha ha ha! Oh, ha 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 ha! You fool! You are the poor fool. He has gone mad. Death to Dr. Death. But is it death to this arch criminal? Follow the further amazing and unique adventures of the Batman in next month's Detective Comics.